Missing father and daughter recovered from Tunalia River. Former Land Force commander handed 5-year jail term. A new $3.6 million Suva weather office opens its doors. Very good evening. Leading this bulletin, the search for a father and daughter reported missing since Sunday has ended tragically. This is after their bodies were discovered in Tunalia in Nandi this afternoon. Preliminary investigations confirmed that the taxi they were travelling in went off the road and into the Tunalia River. 46-year-old Francis Deo and his 11-year-old daughter, Samantha Deo, were understood to have left their home in 4 Miles at around 4 p.m. to drop off a family friend at the Nandi International Airport. They were due to have overnighted at a friend's place in Tunalia, but did not make it there. Deo's black taxi was later found in Tunalia River by villagers at around midday today. The daughter's body was found inside the taxi, while her father's body was later found in the Tunalia River. Former Fiji Military Force Land Force Commander Pita Ndriti has been sentenced to 5 years imprisonment for inciting mutiny. As Andrea Bukelangi reports, the former high-ranking officer will not be able to qualify for parole until he serves up to 4 years behind bars.
Judge Justice Paul Madigan told former Land Force Commander Pita Ndriti the fact that he incited mutiny to remove the Attorney General and the Prime Minister was a very serious offence. Taking into account his colourful military career with his service to the country, Justice Madigan says this does not hold any weight at all, knowing what Ndriti was planning to do. Justice Madigan added that the fact that the mutiny did not take place is irrelevant to the sentence. He started off sentencing Ndriti to 6-year imprisonment and added another 4 years, but with a strong mitigation from his lawyer Filimoni Vosorongo, it decreased the sentence to 5 years. Justice Madigan says that for Ndriti he will serve these 5 years in prison and will be eligible for parole after 4 years. Ndriti has since been found not guilty of inciting mutiny by the reassessor, which was later overturned by Justice Madigan. Justice Madigan has said that there was overwhelming evidence against Ndriti of his intention to overthrow the Bainimarama government. Ndriti has been described by the court as evasive, divertive and aggressive. He will not be eligible for parole until serving 4 years of his 5-year jail term. Andrea Bukelangi, Fiji One News.
A new $3.6 million state-of-the-art weather office was relaunched in Suva today. The new Suva Meteorological Weather Office will now serve as a backup to the existing Nandi Weather Office. As Rachanath explains, new technology at the facility will also allow weather professionals to conduct important climate-related research.
Fiji's first weather station was established at this site in 1942. But after the 1960s, bulk of the weather forecast and information came from the Nandi Weather Office. With this $3.6 million facility finally coming online today, risk assessment and early warning systems during natural disasters will be boosted.
The opening of this new weather office is part of a serious campaign to equip Fiji with the latest technology that will increase our capacity to deal with natural disasters.
In an event of a natural disaster, this facility will supplement the work of the Nandi Weather Office.
Basically, it's the backup to Nandi, and once Nandi is down, now we'll take over. Here, even now, we are connected to Nandi, we are connected to even the Pacific Island where we disseminate our products.
Fiji has been a major player in the region, providing weather and climate information to 7 Pacific Island countries. This investment also enhances Fiji's capabilities to assist regional neighbours with important information.
It's not just about early detection. The new technology in this facility will also allow us to conduct important climate-related research. The demand for data about the weather is very high for a number of development-related purposes. There's no doubt that future strategies to deal with climate change will depend upon sound knowledge of past and present climate around our nation and in our region.
The construction of this facility took 2 years to complete. Rachanath, Fiji One News.
2 traffic experts from Singapore are here to help local authorities decide on whether we may need to increase our road speed limits. Facilitated by the Land Transport Authority, the National Speed Limit Review Consultation Workshop will engage all stakeholders as they debate the question on whether our road speed limit should be reviewed.
These are the brains behind LTA's speed limit review for some of our main highways around the country. They have brought in specialized people from Singapore to assist them in carrying out their work. LTA says this is also about following the proper process and methods before any approval is given.
Speed limits on our national road network. We've had some issues from the public, some wanting us to increase the speed limits in some areas. So we've decided we do this workshop so that you can learn how to do it, and then in future we will just carry on with the speed limit as and when we require to do it.
The LTA is now trying to gauge what speed limit 85% of motorists use at any given time as a basis of any final decision.
We look at the environment of the road, and we are doing some speed surveys to check what is the speed on the roads, and we're looking at the 85th percentile. That is the speed 85% of the vehicles are taking. So we'll base our decisions from that. So whatever the 85th percentile is, if it's above or below the speed limit, then it will enable us to judge what the speed limits on that particular area is.
LTA has identified areas that will need to increase its speed limit, something already under review.
The Suba Nandi corridor and the Suba to Lotoka and then Lotoka to Mba. So those are the areas that we want to concentrate on this, for this first phase of our speed limit.
Drew Bukelangi, Fiji One News.
Lotoka lawyer Iqbal Khan has been suspended from practicing law for 15 months. In a judgment delivered today, the Independent Legal Services Commission found him guilty on 2 counts of professional misconduct. The first count was for acting in a sub judice manner when he had made media comments on a case that was still pending before the courts. On the second count, he was found guilty on a case of having a conflict of interest. In the judgment, Justice Paul Madigan has ruled that both the suspension be served concurrently. Iqbal Khan won't be able to apply for a practicing certificate until March 2015. He has also been ordered to pay costs of $1,500 to the Commission. Now to an incident outside Ba that may compel some to think maybe we should not increase our speed limits. This accident happened at Yalalewu outside Ba this afternoon. Eyewitnesses at the scene say the vehicle was allegedly speeding at the time, causing it to lose control and overturn. Fortunately, no one was seriously injured. In its bid to harness the message of Nadi International Airport being the friendliest port of entry in the world, government today recognized 5 employees who has been recommended by customers for their helpful and caring work ethic. As Madhu Mbolaitamana reports, the 5 chosen today stood out for going beyond their normal call of duty.
It has been hailed as a breakthrough in breeding a culture of excellence in service delivery at our main port of entry. The Nadi International Airport is slowly stamping its mark as one of the friendliest airports in the world because of the service people like these 5 have been recognized for doing.
The people in the front lines, the people who are actually working every day with all of our visitors, like at the airport, we need to recognize their contribution too. So this Fijian Host is a vehicle for us to do that.
The initiative, which started in September last year, saw over 350 employees from the 8 government and private sector stakeholders that operate as essential services at the airport undergo extensive customer relations training to upgrade service delivery to a whole new level.
And we are the happiest place on earth, and so we needed to remind everyone to have fun at work and how to help each other, that we're all part of the same team. So what's been amazing about this program is just how they've all embraced it.
Today's chief guest was Fiji Airways Managing Director and Chief Executive Stefan Pichla, who shared a thing or two about the importance of upholding an image of excellence in service delivery at the airports and how this will ultimately reflect on ticket sales at the counter.
Our spirits, our minds, everything we can do, we will do, and we will support the Madam PS this initiative because we wholeheartedly believe it will help us sell tickets and make more money.
For this winner, pitching in the hard yards and going out of his way, to assist passengers over the past months has been a rewarding experience.
We hardly communicate with the passengers, but to get an award like this, it's very, to me, it's an honor and it's very outstanding.
Fiji One News.
A search will continue today for a 35-year-old engineer who went missing while swimming at the Navula River in Lautoka. The incident is alleged to have taken place sometime between 2 to 5 p.m. yesterday. The search was conducted with the help of community members with negative results. Beware of bogus shipping agents. That's the message from authorities following a surge in complaints against people who are posing as agents for shipping companies in outer maritime islands. I'll let us start with the details.
After receiving numerous complaints, the Transport Ministry is issuing a strong warning against bogus agents trying to take advantage of the unsuspecting maritime travelers.
If you have any issues regarding the chartering of some of our commercial vessels, go and see the shipping owners or come up to the Ministry of Works, Transport and Public Utilities to come and seek advice from the Director for Transport Planning.
So with a lot of movement expected this festive season to and from the mainland and maritime areas, the Transport Ministry is also keeping close tabs on overcrowding of inter-island vessels.
Each vessel under the provisions in the coastal trading license actually stipulates the number of passengers that they are entitled to carry. The Ministry, in liaison with the Maritime Safety Authority, is looking at this very closely during the festive season. And we hope that the ship owners will abide by the provisions in the coastal trading license.
The ministry is working with the Maritime Safety Authority of Fiji. All vessels will be closely monitored by inspectors.
Well, our maritime safety enforcement officers, they know what to do. The vessels will not be allowed to depart until they comply to the provisions in the coastal trading license.
The ministry is also working with the vessel owners to ensure this festive season is incident-free. Fiji One News.
In the news ahead, island resort caught up in major Australian union scam. A mobile operator offers data recovery options for businesses. Hello again. Lawyers for one of Australia's biggest trade unions, the Health Services Union, are now trying to recoup money from the sale of a private Fijian island resort. This comes as they hunt for millions of dollars squandered by convicted fraudster and former union boss Michael Williamson. Reports out of Australia say that HSU's lawyers filed a statement of claim in the New South Wales Supreme Court yesterday to recover 2.4 million Australian dollars from Elf Downing, a former merchandise supplier to the union and self-described Mr. Fix-It, who also owns a 20-square-mile Viwa Island resort in the Asauas. The HSU's lawyers are pinning their hopes on clawing back the bulk of the lost funds, Viwa Island resort, which is currently on the market for 2 million Australian dollars. The Fiji Roads Authority met with key stakeholders today to provide them with an overview of its 2014 program. One of the key projects that will be taken by FRA next year will see the construction of 4-lane roads in Nandi and Suva. This meeting was also to allow the industry to understand the amount of work for the year and an overview of the contracts they are expected to bring to the market during the coming year.
The writing is on the wall as far as how the Fiji Roads Authority plan to use their $400 million budget for next year. This was made known clearly to all their contractors and suppliers today.
$400 to $500 million in work mean as far as how much gravel we need, and it's an extraordinary amount. People would struggle to comprehend the scale of what our suppliers are going to have to produce for us. Gravels, concrete, pipes, bitumen, all these things that the purpose of today was to give the market a lead on the scale of the program so they can start gearing up over the next few months, making investments and delivering what we need in the right quantities and importantly in the right quality.
The Suva and Nandi roads extension is on top of their priority list. This will see most roads in these areas upgraded to meet the current demand from the travelling public.
The showcase projects that are starting from now, really looking to award contracts in the next week or so, is the Nandi four-laning projects and the Suva four-laning project. So we'll be starting out at Waini Bukasi Road, Nelsori Airport down to the roundabout. That's the first contract that will be awarded. So that's a combined value across the Nandi project and Suva project is probably over $200 million over the next 3 years or so.
Those who will be given contracts have a clear guideline to complete works earmarked for next year. FRA expects 60% of next year's projects to be completed by June 2014.
We had a significant level of activity in the second half of this year. We're putting the challenge out to our market, guys. We want to see that reverse. We want to see a more even spread of work, and that means getting as much done in that, primarily in that second quarter, where the weather is more settled, and they've had the first quarter to gear up their supplies, but we deliver a lot of work in that second quarter and just make the home run down in the second half of the year slightly easier.
A total of $454 million was given to FRA for next year. Myron Williams, Fiji One News.
Anytime, any place, that's the message from the Fiji Police Force. And this is after the police's K9 unit made a surprise visit to Suva's municipal market. According to police, this was part of its festive Singanisudu operation. The operation was a successful one as police managed to arrest a 47-year-old for allegedly being in possession of marijuana. Police is advising the public to refrain from any illegal activity and also sending a clear message that they will not tolerate any such behavior. They're also planning to conduct random visits in other parts of Suva during this festive season. One of our mobile phone operators is offering state-of-the-art data recovery management systems. Digicel Fiji put its system on show at USB today to demonstrate its capabilities. The recovery system provides a cloud-based data backup feature which allows companies to safely store their important data remotely.
Remember how frustrating it is when your emails stop working or when you're not able to find the files that you urgently need? With that in mind, Digicel Fiji is now offering remote recovery systems. With the recent increase in business fires and the fact that Fiji is now in its cyclone season, Digicel says it's even more important for businesses to have a data recovery system in place.
The service can work on PCs and laptops. It doesn't just back up servers. So for a small business that has a couple of PCs, that's simply the business owner and operator and the accountant come and plug in every day, they can still avail of this service, and the software will go onto their laptop as opposed to going onto a stored server.
Smith says the service requires no major capital investment from business customers and is bounded by a very strict service level guarantee with 100% assurance of data recovery in agreed timeframes. He adds their system is not only for large but small businesses as well.
Even for a small business, you can avail of this service for less than the cost of a cup of coffee a day.
Digicel has launched this initiative in collaboration with the United Nations Office for Disaster Risk Reduction.
Well, essentially the United Nations Office for Disaster Risk Reduction, we're here to promote and raise awareness for certain mitigation strategies that business communities can use to reduce the impact of hazards.
Risk management expert Noel Lola says such recovery systems are important for business continuity after natural disasters or other unforeseen circumstances.
When disasters arise, can sink businesses, and indeed, as many big disasters such as things such as 9/11 in the United States show, if companies don't have proper business continuity arrangements, then basically they're out of business because they're not able to access their data to run their businesses.
Rachana, Fiji One News.
Niranjan's Motors became the latest motor dealers in the country to become a certified Land Transport Authority franchise to inspect vehicles. The company this afternoon sealed an agreement with LTA. LTA Chief Executive Naisa Tunadeva says partnerships like this will provide an avenue for efficient and customer-focused maintenance systems.
Whose experience and expertise in the automotive transport industry will help improve vehicle inspection and roadworthiness certificate to ensure safer vehicles on Fiji roads. The vehicle inspection and roadworthiness certification is a very critical area for LTA, due to a large number of accidents that could be preventable.
We are dedicated towards saving lives and striving to ensure that vehicle certification standards are improved here in Fiji to a level that manufacturers expect on a global scale.
Prison inmates this morning visited various business houses to spread the Christmas cheer as the festive season gets underway. Staff at the Fiji television newsroom were pleasantly surprised as they were treated to Christmas carols which were performed live by the inmates themselves. The inmates also performed a little Christmas drama on the theme of the season, love and care. Latest news from around the Pacific is up next. Stay with us. Fiji has withdrawn from the Pacific ACP meeting in the Solomon Islands. That message came through late last night from government, citing their withdrawal as a matter of principle. The current meeting is meant to prepare Pacific trade ministers to discuss with the European Union later in the week. This was being facilitated by the Forum Secretariat. According to a Fiji government statement, only 6 of the 14 Pacific trade ministers were able to attend on such short notice. Fiji's Trade Minister Said Qayyum, in a strongly worded statement to his fellow PACP trade ministers, said PACP countries needed to meet without the EU's presence or pressure from the Forum Secretariat. He says it had been agreed to earlier in Brussels to meet separately in Fiji, not just for one day, but for the necessary period required to resolve and strategize on the issues relating to the comprehensive EPA. Said Qayyum says, quote, "The Forum Secretariat is not here to act on behalf of the EU, and they should not dictate directions to the members, but provide technical advice and further our position," end of quote. Various stakeholders within the sugar industry, including policymakers, representatives of the private sector and farmer organizations, were brought together in a one-day workshop organized by the Secretariat of the Pacific Community. This was to help them to learn more about the European Union-funded improvement of key services to agriculture, or IKSA project. While opening the workshop, the SPC's Sairusi Bulai said that the IKSA project has enabled SPC to work directly with Fiji's sugar industry for the first time, and hopes that lessons learned and experiences gained will also be useful in SPC's work in other member countries. Bulai also stressed that none of this could be achieved without the support of the European Union, and thanked them for their faith in SPC. Marin is next with sports and indications for overseas-based Flying Fijians coach.
That's right, Vili. That's if all goes well with the National Sports Commission. That's coming up. Also ahead tonight, Ryan confirmed to take sevens to the 2016 Games in Rio. And Suva and Navua teams separated in NCC draws.